And welcome to a very special episode of Insert Burger Pun. Where it's not really an episode. We're just going to... This is our predictions video for Bob's Burgers movie. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I was about to say, I think the working title is Bob's Burgers, the movie.
The movie. Like, Hey Arnold, the movie? Is that what that
I thought that
was?
was The Jungle.
No, that was the newer one. There was
you're
a theatrical one way back when, right?
Helga and Arnold's first kiss.
Oh,
anyway.
Is that what happened in that? I thought that was like a super leftist one about like the evils of community development.
Yeah, I thought it was Big Bob's Beepers.
Property
was trying to do
stuff.
something.
Right, it was a big business thing. Yeah.
Anyway, that's not this podcast. That's next week.
Next week?
I was just kidding.
Okay, well.
Anyway, so the Bob's Burgers movie is due in summer 2020. July.
That's right.
And so we're going to make some predictions of, what we think is going to happen, who we think is going to be in there, and just general hopes and dreams of this movie, because it's a long time coming. I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
Oh.
I don't know. I feel I don't want to get too into Cats, but I'm a big fan of Cats, and I love the musical, and of course the movie came out, and I liked it, but it just got ripped apart by fans, by just people who have never even seen it, and so I'm worried. This Bob's Burgers is something that I hold close to me, and when people don't receive it well, I'm just like, oh, why can't you just like it? Why can't you just like it? And so hopefully this movie isn't something that people could pick apart for me to have to then defend.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
But I also feel like it depends a lot on how they're going to release it, which we still don't know. I know we talked about that a little bit last time.
I feel like it's going to be straight to streaming service. I think it might just go to Hulu.
So not even a TV, not even a live TV
presentation? Like maybe on Fox, where instead of it coming on, the new episode coming on on Sunday, they'll just air the movie.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah, they might do that. I mean, they did do that for the SpongeBob SquarePants musical.
They did. Oh, that was nice.
The live simulcast.
That was good.
So, yeah, well, but I guess, and it's a question of, okay, a movie adaptation of a TV show can have a couple different purposes, right? And in the case of something like, I know it's not technically a movie thing, but the whole SpongeBob musical thing was like, okay, it's generating interest both in the Broadway show, but also reviving interest in the show itself, right? Because, like, especially a lot of people around our age were like, oh, yeah, SpongeBob, I remember that, right? And they got back into it a little bit. I rewatched a couple episodes and things like that. So it's, okay, are we sparking interest here, or is this movie, is this just the end? And they're going to be like, oh, by the way, no more show. There's no more show. This is it.
That's how I feel. I know that you had already been saying from the beginning that you think that season 10 is going to be the last one. I think that the movie, or like towards the end, we're winding down. I think that the movie is winding down.
Right.
Winding as I hand you a bottle of wine.
Down. And the thing is, because and then another contrast, look at the Steven Universe movie, which was a TV-only movie, but it was essentially like a transition point for the show. It was them saying like, oh, well, no, the show's still going.
We're just over here now.
It's kind of different, and it's kind of a spin-off, and that's it.
Sure.
That's it. So... Well,
what characters do you think would be cool for a spin-off? From Bob's.
A spin-off from Bob's? Okay, so that's, I guess it's a little different from the movie, but it's... If
that were to be what Bob's is doing, then...
Oh, well, that would totally change my... That isn't my movie prediction, because I don't think that's what's going to go down with this one, but yeah, okay, in that hypothetical space, as a main, I guess we could do, like...
Can I tell you who I'm thinking of?
Sure.
Mr. Fish Odor.
Really?
I would love to see what he does during the day.
I was just going to say, like,
probably
not Mr.
weird
Fish
stuff.
Odor, because what has he got? I don't
money.
know. Yeah, I guess, but like...
How does he keep his money? How does he make more?
Just having money is a good way to get more money, generally. True. So, I mean, that's enough, but I don't know. I don't think I would say Fish Odor. I probably wouldn't say Teddy.
No, yeah.
I'm trying to think of characters who are popular enough, and you know what? I feel like
Mickey origin story.
No, I feel like it would end up being one of the kids, but like an all grown up situation, where it's just like, because if they were just still in the family and at home, who cares? Like, that's not a spinoff. They would have, but it would be like, oh, maybe Tina is an adult now, and people like Tina, I think, or at least they like quoting her and making gifs, but
they relate to her
and calendars.
They relate to her teenage hormones,
I guess. So I don't think there are like any ancillary characters who are really big enough to where they would say you get your own whole series. I don't think it would happen.
Zeke.
No way. Kidding. Yeah, nobody. Not even like, not Jimmy Jr., not Jimmy Pesto, not
all
Teddy,
right.
not Mort.
Well, perfect.
Not Mike the
I
Mailman.
hope Fox is listening. I hope this movie isn't geared to give any of those people spin-offs because they don't deserve it.
There's no way they would use the movie. The movie has to focus on the Belchers. That's
okay, so what do you think?
The whole thing.
That's a great segue.
You're gonna do your pitch first.
No, wait, what?
Because mine is longer.
Oh, jeez.
I guarantee it.
Okay, well, let me start with what we know about it.
Okay, yes,
This is a short
ducks in a
article.
row.
This is a very short article that doesn't tell me much.
All right.
It's two things. Well, first off, they're doing it in Burbank, which makes me really happy. I know, obviously they're doing it in Burbank, but it just is nice to see that tag on there. So it says Coochie Copy gets lit, and the movie will reunite Louise with her beloved nightlight Coochie Copy in her dreams for another trippy adventure.
But the Wikipedia article said that's only going to be a small segment of the movie. This implies that that's the whole movie.
No. It's just point. They're saying, yeah. And then we're also going to get the origin story of her ears.
Right.
So that's nice.
Right.
Thank goodness. And then lots of music. It's going to be very musical.
Because it's a musical. It is a literal musical, yes. Okay.
All right. So that was
I guess that's it.
Yeah, it was super short.
That's it. We have not gotten a teaser trailer. We have not gotten a full trailer.
I feel like we're playing Wheel of Fortune at the end. Usually, and we only got like one letter, and then we have to solve the whole thing.
It's usually a bad sign when they don't release the trailer for a long time. So who knows? But
or it just means that they're doing it out of order. They don't have everything together. Right?
They got a script approved in 2018, right? So feel like they should have something cobbled together by now in terms of actual content. But who knows? Maybe they just don't feel that there's much of an interest, so they're like, who cares?
How dare they?
But they've already had their last Comic-Con before this. That's when they would do a big reveal thing. So it's just going to happen at some point. It's just going to be like March 12th. And there will be a trailer.
That's
fine. Five
we'll
people.
Be here. We'll be here.
5 people will react to it. And 2 of those people will be us.
Yes.
What we've heard of it so far is very little, but they have mentioned that, like, oh yeah, we're going to try to do, we're going to try to explain some stuff. And even though there's not all that much to explain in the show as a whole, but
are there any characters from the series that we haven't seen much of that you're like, I really hope that they make an appearance, even just for one line?
I'm sure Mickey will be back in some capacity, even if he's like, the guy in the musical song, the show tunes number, where he just has like one line as the camera passes by or something like, and over here at Wonder Wharf, things are Gorf, and then they go somewhere else, and it's like, okay, well, we got him, so check mark. Mickey's good. I mean, all the mains will be there for sure. I'm sure the art store people, whatever their names are, I think they will
Edith?
appear. They will appear
Harold.
briefly. Yes.
I
be there
Edith
just
dies
barely.
as one of my conflicts.
Randy, right? He's the documentary guy, right?
Oh, yes.
I think he would probably come back for a little bit. And
he's on my list too. Nice.
Other side characters.
I also have I have Josh from the the ballerina dancer guy for Tina.
Sure. Yeah.
I have Marshmallow, Cha Cha, and Glitter.
Okay.
I miss Glitter and Cha Cha. Hope they're doing well.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, just go through your side. What are the side characters you want to see who they're obligated
my
to
dream,
show us in the
I know
movie?
this isn't going to happen, but my dream is for Jessica to come back.
Who's Jessica?
Jessica's
the
Luis's friend
Yeah, okay.
from the slumber party.
All right, okay, sure.
Harley, of course. Oh my gosh, what's her name? Millie. I have down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, you went through the rest of mine. I had Catherine,
okay.
Randy.
Kathleen is her name.
Oh, it's Kathleen.
It is Kathleen, says IMDb anyway.
Whoops.
So, yeah. Sorry about that. Sharon Horgan?
Horgan?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll invite her to my next game night.
Okay.
Okay, so how do you want to do this?
What?
You said I go first?
We're going to pitch our versions of the movie, what we want to see or what we expect to see.
Right.
I wrote mine as like what I want to see, less than what I'm expecting they'll do.
I have this organized very disorganized. Like, there's a lot of arrows and a lot of circles.
I can't wait. Okay.
So, under a list of possible events, I have food festival type or a benefit.
Okay.
Let me actually start with my conflicts, because that would that we would
sure.
Then
What's
understand.
The story? Yeah.
So Mr. Fischoeder and Felix lose the Wonder Wharf.
Okay.
That can be through a number of things, because as you can see, they bet on stupid things, like that Gingerbread House episode. Mm-hmm. So if they were to, have a card game and they bet the Wonder Wharf, or
it
something.
can be one line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We lost the Wonder Wharf.
We lost the Wonder Wharf. How can we get it back?
Right.
Let's community get together. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
I have Jimmy Pesto buys the restaurant.
Okay.
That's kind of a stretch.
All right.
Or somebody buys the restaurant. Oh, so under possible events, I have Teddy getting married or Gail getting married.
All right.
Both could be
to each other.
No, no. Both can spark, conflict and also tying up of things.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure.
If I had to pick between the two, I'd rather it be Teddy getting married.
Right. Well, yeah. I think we all agree.
Gail's probably wouldn't work out, and we all know that. And then some of the conflict could be that Teddy doesn't ask Bob to be his best man, or hasn't officially asked Bob to be his best man, and he just assumes. And it's this whole thing that Bob maybe realizes that he hasn't been such a good friend all the time, when he has to write a speech and realizes he doesn't know much about Teddy.
Yeah, sure.
That would be kind of awkward, and then they all have to work together to find out things about Teddy, even though they've been friends with him for X amount of years.
Okay.
I would tie in Louise getting her ears because maybe she has to take them off for the wedding or something like that. And that's her realizing that she could go without them. We find out, I would love to find out that the ears were passed down from Linda, that they mean something to Linda as also.
Right.
They probably are just ears that she found in a store, but that would be kind of cute if they belonged to Linda's doll or something like that. And she put them on her when she was little. I got a lot of ideas. I kind of just went nuts. And Louise would be the flower girl, of course. I have Edith dies here for some reason.
Sure, why not? Her. Okay. Throw a death in there.
And with the wedding, we could also see how the family met Teddy.
Yeah.
Because that would be fun. Because it's not like it's Mort we would understand because Mort is next door. But Teddy doesn't work anywhere near them that we know of. So how did he stumble upon this family? And then if Gail were to get married, it would be cool because then we would be able to see, we can have little flashbacks of Gail, young Gail and young Linda growing up.
Sure. Okay.
And happy memories that way.
All right. Is there a big finish? Is there what's the third act? What's the big thing that happens,
Well, it depends on which route we're going.
I thought you were picking one.
I have three.
I thought that was all interwoven.
I mean, it could.
Okay, so but what's the main... Okay, so more than anything else, what's the main thing, right? What's the main big thing that happened? What's the main storyline, and how does it wrap up?
The wharf, but they have to save the wharf.
Okay, and what happens? How's that go down?
They have a food festival type benefit.
Oh, okay. I thought that was somehow part of the setup.
So the wedding, if it's a wedding, I feel like that would be something else. Or it could, I was thinking that it would be a Wonder Wharf situation that they lost it. And then Linda finds an engagement ring in Teddy's things because she's Snoopy.
Okay.
And is we need to help Teddy propose to Kathleen. And that could be a side thing while they're figuring out this Wonder Wharf situation. Yeah. That way it's less focused on Teddy getting married as a wedding happening, but more of he's proposing and a wedding will happen later on.
Sometime, sure.
In the future.
Okay.
And then I put here, Skip Marooch saves the day.
Yeah, of course.
Somehow.
Well, of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
And maybe we'll finally get to see the mayor or the principal.
Okay, yeah, right, because they're mystery. Yeah, they're kind of like Mr.
I would love
Wilson's
it
from
that
Home Improvement.
Or was it Kelly from the Proud Family?
Right.
I would love it if the mayor showed up and Linda wasn't in the room, and then when she came back,
she's like, did you take a picture? Picture? I don't know how to do that.
You tried your best.
Nah, not really. Okay, all right.
And then when it comes to kid conflict, I have more. You told you this.
Go for it.
This is it.
This is my last thing. It's non-linear, so I'm sort of.
Yeah, it's super.
Okay.
I'm just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping that something will stick.
Yeah.
In terms of like kid conflict, I put that Tina is graduating, make her graduate, have her leave the school, and then or maybe have Jean get into like a musical school, and so one of the kids is leaving the school,
right,
and they have to adjust to that, especially Louise.
Yeah,
I think she would be the most affected by that because I know when my sister and I went to school all the time, but when she would go off to the next one, I'd be like, oh my gosh, my sister's not here anymore. Like what the hell? So that could be a thing. Okay. Adjusting without siblings.
Okay.
And Linda having to keep a secret about the proposal. But,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Then not. Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. I like it.
Thank you.
I like it.
Thank you very much.
I like Teddy's stuff, especially because I underwrote Teddy's stuff. So.
Oh, did you?
I kind of ignored. I'll say that because I think, right? The Wikipedia article said something like, Teddy will be a big part of it or something, right? Something along those lines.
It's going to be a wedding.
But I basically ignored that.
Yeah, perfect.
Basically ignored that.
That is your right.
And I decided, I'm going to say up front that what I came up with is better than whatever they come up with.
Wow.
Right? It's better. I'm not comparing it to yours because I like your ideas.
Thank you.
But compared to whatever, I don't know what they came up with, mine is better. That's what I'm saying now. And I want to be proven wrong, I want to be, like, blown away.
Is the one that I said, is mine better than yours?
Yours actually, there's some similarities, so we'll get to that.
Cool.
Because I want it to be a big surprise, and, like, I wanted to all share in the story.
Okay.
Especially because I just thought up of an ending. Just right now.
Nice.
I don't know what Act 3 is, but I know how it ends, all right?
I'm excited.
So, okay. And I want it to be great. I want the real thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be... I have confidence that they'll try to do something cool, and it'll be creative and neat, but I like my idea.
I feel like you should have, like, a robe on with one of those pipes that, like, swoop.
A smoking jacket and a pipe. I do have a pipe.
Of course you do.
Did I ever tell you about trying to smoke a pipe in college? I have lots of stories there. But this story is the Bob's Burgers movie, Beef on Fire. Okay? That title was not relevant to the plot.
It's just the plot of Man on Fire.
It's just a good title. It's all it is, really. So.
Your paper's so organized.
Opening scene. Opening sequence, rather. We're flashing back specifically to Louise's birth. Okay?
Okay.
It's when she's coming out of the womb, coming out of Linda. Bob is there. A couple funny, quick jokes about, like, Bob is... Because obviously Bob is always super concerned about the kid stuff, and like fucking up, and he wants to be involved, but he's bad at it, right? So he's like, he's trying to be involved, and the doctor's like, fuck, what are you doing? Like, just get us, stand over there. We're going to get... So Louise comes out, and for the first few minutes here in the flashback, they have creative ways of obscuring Louise's head and hair, right? Like Austin Powers when they do the nudity. It's like, oh, look, it's all covered up from a creative thing. So they're going to do that a lot as they transition to quick cuts, and they're home, and they're meeting, it's a real sentimental scene as Louise meets the siblings,
family.
And,
Aww.
she's vulnerable. We don't usually see her super vulnerable, so it's very sappy, but there's a couple funny jokes, and I don't know what those are, but I'll let them... They can come up with that part, right? And also, just coincidentally, this is very shortly after they've moved into that apartment and that whole restaurant, because we don't really know when they got there or when it all started. So we're just, for convenience sake, this is also a couple weeks. There's still boxes halfway unpacked
Louise was an accident
around the apartment. We know that Louise was an accident. They gave us some hints in the show. It's like, oh, God, okay, another kid, whatever, fine. So yeah, boxes sort of unpacked, but the place is still, we get to see it look very different than we know the apartment to look. And more specifically, we need to quickly move down to the restaurant because we want to see that early on. Maybe it was something comical beforehand, like a sex shop or something, or like, something he hates, like yet another pizza place that Jimmy Pesto's ran out of business.
It would be a punny place.
And Bob hates the pizza places and whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna do the real shit here. This is gonna be the greatest place ever. This is also when they first meet Mr. Fischoeder, because he's coming for like the first month's rent. He's like, you're already late. No good. What are you doing? But he looks a little bit younger, like he still has some color in his hair.
Does he have his eye?
No, because that'll be a joke later on when it's like they don't show it, but later on he just has an eye patch for whatever reason.
Nice.
Or maybe nothing happens and he just felt like wearing an eye patch, right? Okay, so anyway, but this is an origins part, so we also have their first meeting with Teddy, or one of the first meetings with Teddy, where because oh no, this is a terrible apartment and stuff's broken all the time, and the restaurant is awful and we need help. And so Mr. Fischoeder's like, whatever, I'll send a cheap contractor. Teddy shows up and they start talking, and this is when it's first established that Teddy's like talks so much and he's telling all these dumb stories, but at the same time it's clear that he's genuine and wants to be helpful.
He's gonna
and they're
fix
like
it.
They form some kind of connection, and Bob is thankful rather, because he doesn't have to do all this stuff himself. And he's going to get this restaurant going, and he's very hopeful. It's very optimistic, right? So we end this sequence with Bob and Linda out on the street in front of the restaurant with, like, maybe the sign is breaking or falling apart or something. But they're, like, arm in arm, and they're just like, well, fuck it. We're going to do it, and we're here, and the future's going to be great, and it's going to be awesome, right? And it's so cool. Smash cut. Same exact position, but present day, which I should note is a couple years after the present events of the show. Okay. Kids have grown up a little bit. We never see them grow up. Maybe like 5-6 years older than they are now,
so Tina's
right?
18.
So Tina's on the way out, maybe of the house, right? We can maybe do a college subplot. Or just leaving the house subplot, right? The other kids are older, but they're still very much themselves, and
So what are their lives like then?
Well, we'll get to it, but this shot specifically, we immediately cut to them in front of the restaurant, which is yet again on fire, and they hint at like, oh, there was yet another wacky adventure, and this is how it ended up, and oh no. And they're like, they know all of the firefighters by first name, and they're like, oh, hey, Jeffrey, like, sorry, this is just Gene was trying to sell counterfeit things to try to whatever, some stupid plot thing that they would come up with, right?
And then he would say it was for his friend Ken.
This brings us back in, and we're like, okay, that was the end of that adventure, so now this is when plot will start happening, and the movie's going to start happening.
Let's do it.
But they're already at their lowest point because they're fucking broke for reals this time, and they're like, there's no insurance, we canceled that a year ago, and like, the restaurant is totaled and it's ruined, and Linda's like, no, it's fine, we'll just wipe up the scorch marks, and it's not. And Bob is sitting with the reality of the situation, and the kids are, despite their personalities and the not caring thing, are just like, oh, we do feel bad, and like they start to confront the fact that the restaurant is a huge part of their lives and identity and all this stuff and all the memories and things, right? And blah, 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 blah.
So like couch montage.
Well, not a montage yet, because we just had one with the flashback thing.
Right.
But, okay, this is just the setup, right? Shit,
I mean,
oh no.
Where are...
They're in trouble, and what are they going to do, right? That's our opening to this movie. Oh no, what are we going to do? Now, this is where the story catalyst comes along. This is the hinge of Act 1, is that Skip Marooch calls.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Look at us both.
Of course Skip Marooch calls. And you know what he's saying? He's in some funny location doing something super exciting, and doing his thing. He's being Kumail.
He's about to jump out of an airplane.
He's winning an award or something, and he's just walking off the stage with his trophy. Something like that. And he essentially says, okay, Bob, look, I have just been catapulted into yet another higher sphere of success, right? Like, something good happened, and here's what I'm doing now. He's opening a brand new restaurant as part of his like family of restaurants, like Gordon Ramsay or whoever, like David Chang does that too, where he's not really in control of all the different restaurants, but he has them, and they're under that same family name, right? He says, I'm opening a new restaurant in New York, and you're gonna run it, and you have total creative freedom, and like it's gonna pay a shit ton of money, and it's part of this promotional campaign, so it's always gonna have people. It's gonna be packed all the time. Right?
I don't want it to interrupt you, but
well,
can we skip
you
to
got
the
it
end?
now.
If he
But
is he gonna not take the job? Because if he doesn't take the job, I'm not watching the movie.
Not there yet.
I'm not watching. I'm not gonna watch the rest of your movie.
I'm keeping you on the hooks. I'm keeping you there. Okay.
Because that's some real Bob's Burgers shit right there. That he would be offered something so great.
Because here's
and then not take
because
it at the end.
and we need to, and it's not only about it is the theme of Bob's Burgers, but also just the American sitcom in general, and specifically animated sitcoms, especially with The Simpsons, where like they have one pan in The Simpsons where they go from the bottom floor to the top floor, and in between the floors you see like a wealth of treasure and like bones and things. Are like, oh, they could be totally rich if they just knew, but of course they don't, and they never will.
Jimmy Pesto's gonna run this restaurant, huh?
So yeah, but we're just looking at the fact that okay, this is the basis of the show. Is like he's really talented, but he's never been successful. What would be interesting to do with that concept? Because the show has never really moved away from that all that much. So here it is, at long last. Like Bob's done the work. He's impressed people. You know, like he's made cool stuff. And now someone's saying, okay, you have success now. Like, this is it.
Uh-oh.
But, like, yeah, it
it
will require, there's pressure attached, of course, but also just there's a big move. Like, you're leaving everyone behind, everyone you know. And also just the restaurant itself.
Yeah, you're
also
not working
his
with your
dad,
family.
Everything, right? Just like, this is a real fucking job. And, like, you're going to do it, and it'll pay really well, and it'll be a whole new life. And it's the one you've always wanted. But, obviously, there are unspoken sort of requirements and things and challenges that he has to face.
What a
as
change!
A result
he
of
wouldn't
that.
even understand how to.
So that's just the setup. That's it. So this is the movie.
Wow.
Is everyone trying to deal with this change, right?
Oh,
okay.
Teddy.
So, and also, by the way, I have as part of this that Skip sends like a funny assistant character who's either like another chef or someone who's going to help get the new restaurant in order, and they're like just on their shit and great and really funny and just fun. It'd be a good place for a celebrity cameo of some kind,
like Rebel Wilson.
I don't know, fucking Willem Dafoe shows up and he's just like, okay, and he's super supportive, and just
Steve Buscemi.
Just that would be good too, and it's just really positive, and it's just like, oh, you have everything you need now. And so this character is going to be a chance for Bob to express things later on in the movie, but whatever. Anyway, it's just a fun little new character, and Skip's not going to be there, so this is someone else to remind everybody this is what's happening, and we're making moves. Now we have the Teddy subplot, which is kind of an afterthought, but basically he's having a big step up, whether that's like a solid GF, which would be a funny, like that's all he cares about is like, oh, that's fine, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
Is having a girlfriend of any kind is fine, right? Or maybe he's starting his own, or expanding his company or something, and like he's hiring people. Oh, he's successful, and he's doing good things.
He's opening a
It's been a few years, so he's had plenty of time to save up cash, and kind of he's making moves too, right? He's getting to his own
partnership.
thing. Yeah, like all grown up. Like people are doing things and their personality traits are coming to fruition.
Ugh, not me.
And things are happening. Well, that's real life, but
yeah.
And it's a big funny scene when Bob has to tell Teddy, and everybody in the family is like trying to avoid telling him as he's having his burger and stuff. And like Bob made a special new burger just for him, and it has Teddy's name in it or something. And and it doesn't go well, and Teddy freaks out and he storms out, and that's done for now. He's over there, he's doing his thing. We'll get there eventually.
Aww.
And essentially, most of the rest of the movie is our main characters, coming to terms with things and deciding whether or not they're on board, and as a result, like
that's good.
Coping with the idea of, oh, but I'm leaving so much behind. Is that a problem? Is it not? Right?
Yeah.
Specifically, I think we can spend a ton of time just on all of the kids. Like
yeah,
I feel like Jean and Tina, especially, maybe Tina's out of the running because she's going to college or something, so maybe she's not
right,
quite
they're
as
older.
invested.
I forgot.
Yeah, whatever. They're slightly older. Jean, meanwhile, is like fucking New York, Broadway, like the arts. Oh, he's totally down, but at the same time, feels some connection to his origins, and of course, all them. Maybe he has
Who's
a scene
he dating?
with. He has an on and off again thing with what's her face.
Courtney?
Mouth lady, yeah. I know. It's just, well, but that's the thing, is that they've both been stagnating a little bit. And so this is an opportunity for him to say, you know what? I think it's time for us both to move on, and also just in our careers as well. Maybe she also does something well, whatever it happens to be. I don't know what Courtney does.
Sucking on a necklace.
She ages necklaces with her mouth. Jesus. Anyway, so I feel like they would be way easier, but here's where we get time and filler is Louise's process of letting go, because not only does she have the fact that she is obviously adverse to change in general and changes in her routine, and she's very comfortable with the thing she's found right now, but also she's not too keen on the idea as a whole. And well, she had that whole thing with Bob of like, oh, I'm going to take over the restaurant, and it's going to be a family thing, and so she has a specific connection to this place, even though she's been complaining about it for years and doesn't do any work and blah 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 blah. She does really like this specific place, and the restaurant itself has a big emotional significance to her. So this can be maybe even most of Act 2, but it's just a nice long sequence where, okay, Louise needs to get through this stuff. That's where the Coochie fantasy stuff comes in. Okay. Because she's withdrawn from her real life, and oh no, there's been some sort of trauma. She needs to retreat to the happy place, which is Coochie land, and it would be funny to have both good and bad Coochie there, you know, but they're kind of on board and they're kind of friends now. They're just both giving her pretty good advice. Okay. Although one's a little bit more harsh and saying like, well, you know, yeah, this is sad and this is tough, but at the same time, you're growing up and you're becoming a person, and you know, you get to do your own thing, and isn't that exciting? Okay, so she's like 13. I was trying to. I guess so I don't even know. Age. I don't even know how old she is right now. And this same sequence, just because of time and space, this is where we have to also do the origins of the hat. Okay. And all I could do was. Is she still wearing the hat? Another flashback. Yeah.
She's still wearing the hat at 13 in yours?
Yeah, but she's like altered it slightly to be like kind of a cool kid thing. Yeah. You know, like
the ears are less it's prominent.
Like it still works. Like it still has the intended effect, and she's totally down with it. She's made it work. But we get the flashback, and I don't know. I mean, this could be included at the beginning, but why not just do it here? And the origins of her hat were that, you know, we start with her first year of school, whether it's like preschool or kindergarten, and she's adorable, but she just doesn't fit in at all. You know, it's not working. The other kids don't like her very much, and she's a little too weird and all that kind of stuff. So either through some prize thing or carnival, whatever, you know, the hat appears in her life, and once she's wearing the hat, cool, now she has the confidence to be herself. It's Piglet's mittens in the Winnie the Pooh where he learns to ice skate, right? Oh yeah. It's that, and all of a sudden she's like, oh, it's okay for me to be weird and kind of creepy and crazy and all this kind of stuff, and this is where I get to be outgoing and all that kind of thing. So that's the little origin thing. But and maybe we should do that in the beginning, because here in the Coochie land, they have a big heart-to-heart, and he's like you don't need him anymore, you know, like you're a person now.
I think that
did your thing.
I agree that the Coochie,
like, it's fine.
If it would be a scene where she's like, I'm about to take off my ears, it would be Coochie to be like, you don't need them. Yeah. I don't think I don't think Linda, Bob, or any of them could be like, hey, Louise, you don't need your ears, and she would take them seriously.
But we transition between those two worlds. So as he's saying that, and she's having a realization, we cut between real world and fake world where she's taking it off, and all of a sudden we're just in wide, and we just see regular Louise, or now like sort of teenage punk rock Louise.
Is this something that you think they would do beginning, middle, or end of the movie?
This is not
of your movie, just in general.
Yeah, this is second act stuff. I mean, I don't think they would want to stay for the third act. It seems like that shouldn't be the focus of the movie. Anyway, long story short, she does that, and it also symbolizes her acceptance of life changing in general, which is itself commenting on, like, you know, the sitcom format as a whole, and like, you know what, change does need to happen, and all sitcoms are all about maintaining the status quo, but fuck it, now we're doing the thing, and you know, good things are happening, and it's all about growth, right? Okay, so anyway, that takes up the Coochie stuff. Done.
Nice.
Bob and Big Bob have a sit-down talk, and it's a real nice heart-to-heart. That's a whole other scene. I don't want to... Other stuff happens. I haven't really worked out Act 2 or the beginning of Act 3, but this is how it ends. We finally get to a point where Bob is like worried that everybody's not on board, and he's like sat everyone down. He's like, you know what, maybe I should just say fuck it and we'll just stay here, you know, maybe because this is what my family wants. It's the whole garden thing again of just like, okay, I guess I have to give up this thing that makes me happy because of my family, right? Then family speaks up and comes together in a Spartacus moment and says,
this is our dream. This is your dream, so it's my dream.
Yeah, and also this helps our dreams too. It's not totally a selfish thing, and you know, we're a family, and yeah, we change together, and things will happen, and that's fine, and that's okay. Yeah, so that's the plan, and then
I mean, going away party.
They'll have a nice montage of them getting better and setting up the restaurant and people coming and it getting rave reviews and all that kind of stuff. Maybe a cartoon cameo from Jonathan Gould, who's dead now, who wrote for the LA Times, and you know, a big food writer and all that kind of stuff.
Moody Moody.
But our closing sequence is, you know, we see a time lapse of the restaurant of Bob's Burgers. First we start, you know, before they got there, at whatever it was before. We go through their stuff and all their incidents and the changes they make to the restaurant intentionally and unintentionally over time, and then we go past when they leave. We go past Bob's Burgers to when it becomes something else. I don't know. Maybe Teddy sets up an office there. You know, wouldn't that be a nice little capper? Maybe that's how Teddy comes back around. Is they have a nice conversation like, oh, this is great, and he says, and by the way, I'm gonna buy this property because I always want to remember, and he makes his desk right at his spot at the bar. You know, it's his own little spot. Isn't this great?
Oh my god!
This is all improvisational, but this is perfect. So there we go, and you know, we end with Bob and Linda. Maybe they come back for a visit. They get out of a dark car. It's a nice car.
Oh my god!
And
but then you hear her.
They're not even driving. And Linda's still being goofy, and she's funny. And oh, Timothy, our driver.
She's talking to Ginger.
What if we have some of that gum? Ginger, we see pictures of her on a cruise in the Bahamas or something with some guy that she just met that day, and they married.
Yes,
whatever.
With Skip Maruch.
They get a super quick little. Yeah, she gets a quick.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
And this is where we mirror the shot from the first sequence where they're standing just outside the restaurant, arm in arm, and they're looking at Bob's Burgers, which is now called something completely different. And you know, they reflect on the fact that they did go somewhere and they did make something out of this place.
This is where they started,
and they got to do another thing, and it's all great. And then I feel like, you know, it probably needs a funny tag, like maybe the people who are there now, or if
the roller skating, the roller skater and his underwear goes by, but he's older.
Fine. Yeah, or just like even you could even close with like documentary style shots of the town, where it's just like, oh, here are the old establishing shots we used to have for all the different locations throughout town, but now no one's there, you know, or just like passerby or characters we've seen, but yeah, roller skate guy goes by, Marshmallow shopping somewhere, you know, or whatever, at the mall maybe, right? And we just see these quiet shots of the town. Wonder Where, of course, being one of the last ones. Alley, sure, why not, right? Throw the alley in there, and that's it. A nice quiet closing. We know enough about where they ended up and what happened to them, and it's great.
Well, you know what happened to them. I don't think you touched on any of the other characters and gave them endings.
But also, well, we mostly tie up those characters before the ending.
Okay, what happened to Mr. Frank?
He doesn't need time. He's principal now. He's principal.
Oh,
we see it.
Yay!
We see a faceless arm come down and hand him the keys to the school or some shit. I don't know. You know, he brings his litter boxes in for the cats.
I brought this from home.
All the cats hang out in the office or something, right? But we mostly tie that up. Yeah, we're not going to end it with a montage of, oh, here's all our favorite characters doing things I like, but just the place itself, the town, and ending on Bob's Burgers in the apartment and all that kind of stuff that we know and love, and that's it. That's the whole thing.
That ending makes me think of, it would be cute if all those shots were happening, but then we find out that the camera perspective that we're watching it from is Randy videoing it. Like, this is his documentary as Bob. Okay. And then like it ends with like Bob being like, Randy, like, what do you like?
Well, and that can even be a shell story too. Like if you wanted to do the whole movie, yeah, it could be home movies for the flashback stuff. And but then we can't do Louise in Fantasyland at all. Unless we cut between Randy's documentary and just movies footage.
Yeah.
You know. So but no, I mean that wouldn't be the worst shell story of just him like, oh yeah, you know, talking heads and stuff of like, oh, this is what's happening now.
This whole time it was Randy.
Right, that's right. He's been filming the whole show himself. Which makes
I like that. I like yours. I think that's great.
It's good.
I took notes on your.
Oh, good.
Questions. Well, I mean, I have. You brought up a lot of different topics that could go into different avenues. Like my mind was going in different places than where you were.
Right.
So like the idea of Bob getting that opportunity, awesome. I don't even know why I didn't think of that. That's perfect.
Whatever.
But then it's like he would get there. I don't want to say that he fails, but he gets there. This is his dream. Like, no one can stop me from going to do this.
Yeah.
He goes there and he realizes that, his front desk person's not his wife. Like his kids aren't clearing the table. Like these are people who he doesn't know, but he's supposed to have a connection with them in the kitchen the way that he has with his family in the kitchen. So maybe he's taken aback and it's like, oh, maybe this isn't what I wanted. Maybe I did want a mom and pop shop and I wanted to work with my family and have it that way.
Okay.
That's a bummer of an ending.
Oh, that's how it ends.
No. Like that would suck. But then the family would then encourage him like, hey, no, this is your dream. Focus on like the burgers, focus on like the food. And then, fast forward to your ending or whatever.
Right.
But I would love to see him realize that part of what makes him so happy of doing Bob's Burgers, that restaurant, and having that restaurant is the fact that he gets to do it with his family.
Okay.
I don't want him to just be like, oh, well, now I get to be creative. Bye. It's like, no, it had nothing. It did have something to do with the creativity, but also you loved it because you were with your family.
Okay.
And that's probably why Big Bob did it. He wanted to be with his family, even if, Bob didn't have the same views as him or whatever.
Okay.
I think the time jump makes me a little nervous because then all I would think about is like what happened in those missing years.
Well, but
so
this
I like
is the other.
I like your plot, but like maybe just keep them the same age.
No.
Why? Why are you making them
because
older?
the whole movie is built around the idea that this is the ending of the series itself.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And for that to happen, we do need that time jump because otherwise. Yuck. And also we also don't get as many interesting stories and character dynamics without that jump. And it's a cheap but easy and convenient and effective way to get that level of audience involvement of like, oh, suddenly I'm thinking outside of the bounds of the series as it usually is. And like, what if they're real people and they have to deal with all these real things? And maybe good things, maybe bad things will happen to him. I find that more interesting than, here's a TV movie, Bob's Burgers, and they're keeping most of the same parameters as they would with any given episode, which is low stakes, silly family drama, fun things, and bad pop culture reference jokes, and no one ever changes or improves or becomes a different person or makes new friends or starts new relationships, like status quo sitcom-y stuff. Aww. I just don't think that's as an exciting an environment.
Well, that's what you're gonna get.
It's probably what it'll be. I'm prepared for that, but and I mean I didn't write down any song ideas. There will be song. Every scene they can fit a song into every single scene. Like there's enough thematic stuff there to make that work. I
picture with your story. I picture him singing like about how excited he is and like all these different burgers he's gonna try and ingredients he's gonna try, and that's gonna like pop up.
Super upbeat. And
then there's gonna be a reprise of it later on in the end where it's even more emotional and stuff.
Right. Yeah, and then they have the funny song is when he and either he and Teddy or he and Big Bob are supposed to have a song, but they're both really bad at singing. So it's just like an awkward, they stumble through bad lyrics and stuff, and
nice.
But it's genuine underneath. There's genuine emotion behind the bad singing and stuff. But yeah, whatever they can. I think songs fit into any part of that, but. I guess it does have to be a musical, which is disappointing.
So in terms of, they're older, right? So
slightly older.
In terms of the relationship problems or the relationship developments, what's going on with Tina? Because she's like 18 now.
And one scene I didn't even mention was the scene between her and Jimmy Jr., which is their wrap-up scene. And
what is it?
But the dynamic has shifted. And
is he pining after her? Because that's what I really want.
Yes, but also like. She doesn't give a shit, and also he probably has bad reasons for doing it, but he's like, oh, can I help you pack or something? But all he does is look around the room, and he finds some of the friend fiction, and, Tina's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I mean, like, I used to feel that way, but I really don't, like, you know, like, I've done my thing. You've never responded, so I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Because she needs to establish herself as a
who is she moved on to?
Strong, independent. No one right now. No, we maybe get a butt scene with her of some kind where she's just like, I don't know, admiring or whatever.
I hate to have him go, but I love to watch him leave type of moment.
I guess, yeah. She, some new maybe. Oh, if she does go to college, boom, first week of college, and we see just a 10-second thing of her and like.
Oh my gosh!
It's co-ed dorms. What? Who is it?
Josh.
It's Josh. There you go. She goes.
I really would love Josh to be somebody that she. Even this is just away from the movie in general.
Right.
Just like for her to meet up with Josh later on in life because he was a good guy. That was a freaking good guy.
He's good. Yeah, he's all right.
He liked her. Gosh, whatever.
But this is obligatory because they.
So what's going on with Louise? What's going on with Louise and her relationships?
She doesn't ever. No.
She's 13, so she's hormonal now. She's Tina. She's Tina. So what's she feeling?
No, she has a quick scene with Rudy, but that's it.
Rudy.
They have to spend too much time on the whole Coochie Copy thing and the ears thing. That's too much. She can't also have an arc of a relationship.
Well, she wouldn't have an arc of a relationship if you didn't make her 13.
Then it's 1 year. It can be 1 year from now. And they're just like, oh, it's funny that like we think it's going to be a big dramatic time jump. And instead they're just like 2 inches taller. They're like, now I'm in 7th grade. Nice. It's a big deal for them because they're children. It doesn't matter at all. It could be that short. And all these developments could happen in that same amount of time as well. Okay. So it's totally, the ages thing is unimportant.
Okay.
But there's way too much for Louise to do if she also has to have a relationship subplot, which I feel is unnecessary and would feel duplicitous and like superfluous if like Tina also has a thing,
you use.
Right? And if Teddy has a relationship subplot, that's 1. Bob and Linda rekindle their fire, that's 2. Tina does her own thing and becomes a strong, independent, single female lawyer. That's 3.
So
like
Jane.
Louise doesn't also need to have a relationship subplot, and also maybe she's just not ready for that.
I'm not saying that she needs to have a relationship, but I'm saying that with your time jump, which you've now recanted,
it's adjusted.
Flexible. I'm saying that
it's 1 to 15 years.
She would then be a more hormonal person, so she would have these feelings now.
Okay.
She doesn't have to act on it.
Where's there room for that in the movie?
Hey, I mean, I didn't make her 13. You did. I like it. I really liked yours. I'd watch it. I love the challenge.
Well, that's because it would be better than whatever they're going to do, but they're going to do something, we'll watch it, and we'll have something to say about it, most likely, unless we don't.
I think, out of the two of ours, which one do you think is more likely to?
I think the stakes of yours are more likely to happen. Mm-hmm. Just the not a huge deal kind of thing.
Yeah, because as I was writing it, I'm like, are you writing for the movie or is this just another episode?
Yeah, or you know what? It sounds like a 2-parter episode in terms of stakes alone, not the plot stuff. The plot stuff can fit into all kinds of different things, but just in terms of stakes and like finality and like big. Oh, it's a movie now. Things have to be heightened. Yeah, so slightly different there. But I don't know. Again, it depends so much on whether it's a TV release or a theatrical release. Because if it's just a TV thing, it's not going to be it's not going to be a big deal. I don't think it's going to be
I don't think it's going to be in theaters.
I don't think so either. I think we would have heard it by now. So it's just going to be on TV one night and then it'll be over. I think that's about it. The songs will be the marketing angle, because people will upload the songs to YouTube and be like, oh, this was a fun one and this is the funny song. And
are there any side characters that you hope get a solo? Because I have little regular size Rudy. I hope gets to sing a song and then like does his inhaler in the middle of it. That'd be kind of cute.
Okay, yeah, no, that's good.
Maybe Millie.
I think just all the side characters we listed are basically eligible. They'd be, whether they get a couple lines or their own little song. Sure, why not? Like that's fine. I think it would be pulled off thematically, and they'd have stuff to talk about. They can.
Are there any themes that you hope don't happen? Because I already told you one of mine is that I do hope that we find out why Jimmy Pesto and Bob hate each other so much, or like what that beef is.
That can be part of the sequence.
But then I also hope that I don't want them to resolve their differences. This is your plot aside, like just in general. Like, I like that competitiveness.
Okay, they're not friends. All right, got it. Okay.
Keep them not friends.
Yep. Well, we talked about this one already. I don't want Jean to come out of the closet in some big look at that kind of way. I don't think that would be good. Mm-hmm. And I hope they don't do it because it would be bad and very, very queerbaity.
I feel like they'd probably just do like a canon, like him and Alex. Maybe.
I don't think it would be with Alex.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't have that chemistry. But, like, sure, why not just whoever
he would
else?
tell.
Just some other guy, fine, whatever. Yeah. It's totally fine. I hope they don't touch on that at all, really. They just let him live his life and
yeah,
be a child and whatever. If it's subtle, if there's something super subtle, it's like, oh, Ken, maybe he actually meets someone named Ken and he's an albino by chance. No, not an albino, but that's his Halloween costume. He dresses up as what? Is he supposed to be like a Jamaican albino or something? What is Ken again?
He's I think he is.
Right, something like that.
Yeah.
A DJ or something.
Yeah, he is the DJ for sure.
Just like in passing, they could reference like, oh yeah, whatever, if he has a boyfriend, whatever, who cares, That's fine. But yeah, I hope they don't do a big Jean thing. I hope they don't do that at all. And other things I don't want them to do. I don't want them to maintain the status quo. I guess that's the other big thing, but even though it's pretty much guaranteed, if the show's going to keep going, then it'll be low stakes and everything will be back to normal by the end of it. So that would be a disappointment.
My don't list includes, I don't want anybody to die, even though I wrote Edith dies.
Okay.
I don't think that would be, I don't like that. That's sad. Too much.
Sure, yeah, she doesn't have to die.
No, anybody. I don't want there to be.
No
I don't
deaths.
want.
Yeah, I don't think there need to be any deaths.
I think they can get. Well, they could use it as an opportunity. Like that would be a plot point. Like that would be a plot. It would be a a story.
Yeah, not so fun for a Bob's Burgers movie though.
Yeah,
to base the movie around a death.
What else should they not do?
It's just bland stuff. I don't know. I hope they avoid bland, boring ideas, but I'm worried that that's not how it's going to shake out. Mm-hmm. So that's all.
Well, we can go back to what they should. Looking at Bob on the screen right now, one thing, I already mentioned it before, but I really hope that Bob has a moment where he realizes that part of the reason why he loves what he does so much is because he's with his family. Even though they're air quotes so terrible and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I would love that. And then also, oh man, I just forgot so hard just now. Oh no. Oh, I would like for kind of like the Lobster Fest where he's a popular guy. He's a very popular guy. I don't think he realizes it, but in your kind of universe where he's leaving, I would love an opportunity for the town to show him how much, like he's Bob.
Huh. Okay.
He's like the Burger Man.
But I feel like that would be out of character for the town. Like the way the town is characterized, all of just the random characters are just like, oh, no, everyone's kind of dumb and stupid.
True.
And they don't really care when someone does something good. And I think that's funny. So I feel like if there was a sappy, or how about this? If it was supposed to be like a big thing.
They have a Bobster Fest.
It was supposed to be like everyone would show up and it would be so cool. And then like 5 people come. That would be funny because we'd see who actually cares and like
would more people show up later?
It can be a small group of characters. How about this? The rest of the town starts to show up when they just like think it's a regular party or something. Yeah. when they've totally forgotten about the fact
Dalton shows up.
They were supposed to do something nice.
Yeah.
That would be funny. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if. I guess he has had an impact, but we could do like a whole bunch of side characters we'd forgotten about that he helped out in some way, I guess, if there are enough
like
of those.
The mannequin guy.
Yeah, sure. Why? Oh, wouldn't it be fun, though?
In
the New York plot, right? If he was just there in the super stylish loft with the lady. Yeah. But he has, like, other mannequins lying around. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. We haven't, put ourselves together yet.
Sorry, Simone. Oh my gosh. We have an open relationship. She's fine with it.
They have a long conversation about, the rules they're supposed to have. Okay. But yeah, there are a lot of things I don't want them to do. But they're all so boring that it's just like, I don't think it's that exciting to talk about. But songs, there will be a lot of songs and whatever.
I'm excited for it. I will say that I'm glad. This is fun. This was really fun.
It's great.
Going through our things.
I'm going to try to... This is going to be so bad. If I do this, it'll take 2 years. But I want to draw, like...
Good luck.
As we go through our pitches, like...
Mine was all over the place.
Here's one frame of this thing happening. Here's one frame of this thing happening. So maybe, but that'll take a very long time. Anyway.
Should I just read the other bullet points on here that I didn't get to say out loud?
Yeah,
that makes no sense?
Say things that you didn't get to say. Yeah, what else is there?
Louise gets blamed for something.
Okay.
Tina finally, with finally underlined 3 times, or twice, whatever.
All right.
Breaks up with Jimmy Jr. But I like the idea. I had a story that the reason why Louise wore the hat at least when she was a baby is that like Linda accidentally
shaved her head.
Yeah, and then was like, look, it's cute. No, it's cute. This is cute. Okay. And just like kept it on.
Yeah.
And it just became a thing.
Yeah.
The kids help Teddy propose.
All right.
I love that. I just want Teddy to get married. I just want him to be happy. Mr. Fishoder retires. That's another one that he's like, I'm just gonna go off and have money, so you could do this. Here's that responsibility. Mr. Frond. Oh, and then my other one was the kids help Mr. Frond propose. That's the route of Gail getting married, and the whole kind of premise for the kids is coming to terms with Mr. Frond might be their uncle soon,
right?
But also they want Gail to be happy, but also they don't want Mr. Frond to be their uncle. So they start out by trying to sabotage it, like that one episode.
Right.
But then in the end, help.
Yes. Oh, that's all of them. Okay.
Should we send this to Fox? Do you think it's too late?
I think it's too late, probably.
They're here. They're doing it here.
They're nearby. There are people, as we speak, there are many people
we should
in South Korea drawing this movie.
We should comment on that guy's photo on Instagram and put the link to this episode.
What guy's photo? What?
Oh, sorry. I never showed you.
Oh.
The one who this guy posted and was like, I started my new job today. And it was he's working on the Bob's Burger movie.
Oh.
So, any final thoughts?
I have my fingers crossed that it'll be just really neat and creative. I do have confidence that the songs will be pretty good.
Right.
I think whoever does that, they have a good team there and they make good. Whatever, it's fine. I
want to be entertained.
Outside of that, there's some easy fan servicey stuff they could do, and you know what? It's fine if they do. But if it, it would be nice if it was all a little bit subtle and kind of smart and clever. And
right.
That would just make all the difference, and it would make something that would be worth rewatching. And, that's it. That's all I'm hoping for. Something fun that I actually want to watch more than once, I think, is enough.
I hope we get more answers than we do. I don't want to watch the movie and then be like, oh, well, what's going to happen with this now? I would rather them answer questions that I've been wondering throughout the series. Or at least, even if they answer things in little, small, subtle ways. Just like a quick mention, like, oh, I haven't seen Jessica and whatever. And like, just like, if they can't show a person, just name drop them just for the fans who've watched it. Like we know all these characters that we thought were going to be something and then they weren't.
Right.
But they were still super great characters. So it's like, you don't necessarily have to bring them back, but at least mention them so they still exist. Give them something. Well, I'm going to definitely have I wrote it down in my planner. I requested the day off from work.
Wow.
The whole month of July. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm going to watch it live.
There you go.
Live.
But that's about it for now. And we'll be back with more regular episodes.
Yeah. We would love to hear your guys' opinions and thoughts of what you think the movie's gonna be. If you like, you can also tell us whose plot you like better, mine or his.
Is that it?
Yeah. Just like and subscribe. insertburgerpun@gmail.com. Feedback, comments, praises, opposite of praise.